another What I Eat in a Day video. Today's video is all about healthy plant-based recipes. Some of them are leftovers, some of them are quick and easy, and one of them is from my favorite meal delivery service, Purple Carrot. I'm bringing you today's video in partnership with Purple Carrot, and actually one of the ingredients that is inside this Purple Carrot box, which is Nasoya tofu. So I personally am a huge fan of Nasoya tofu anyway. They are the tofu that I always buy. It's non-GMO. There's a ton of different like firmness options. You can use it like pretty much every single way. And Nasoya carries a ton of organic products. So it's my personal preference in the tofu brand marketplace. And I'm really excited that they are part of this Purple Carrot box, which means a few of the recipes in this box have Nasoya products in it. So I am going to show you the recipes that I get inside the box, and then we'll end up making one or more, I'm not sure yet, of those recipes. And as you guys know, of course, like soy is a really awesome form of plant-based protein. It's also really customizable. Basically, you can use it like a million different ways, and I'm excited to see what's in store inside this box. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today in this video. If you want to try Purple Carrot on your own, you can get $30 off your first box by clicking the link that is right below this video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our day. All right, so I was going to an early morning workout and I decided to make a little iced coffee. I made this actually in my last What I Eat in a Day video. So it's just a packet of this coffee mixture, and then I added in some cold water and a splash of plant-based milk, sweetened it with a little bit of monk fruit extract, and then blended it up in my blender. And I really like this because it gives me a little bit of energy. It's not too overwhelming, and it also puts a little bit in my stomach. When I'm going to SoulCycle, I don't want something that is incredibly heavy. So just having a coffee like this is just what I need to get my day going. All right, so I just got done like getting ready for the day, and I'm gonna start with my matcha. You guys already saw it, went to a SoulCycle class, had that pre-workout little coffee mixture. I'm gonna start with my matcha. I always do matcha first, and I let that kind of settle in my system, and then I make breakfast. Not sure what I'm gonna do for breakfast today. I think I'm gonna not do a smoothie bowl because I like pretty much always do those in this videos. So I think, I don't know, maybe I'll scrounge up some leftovers or something like that. I'm kind of craving pancakes because there's a new pancake recipe up on the blog today, and I'm like, I posted it on Instagram, that sounds really good. So maybe we'll make pancakes. I'm not sure, but either way, let's go ahead and make our matcha, and then I'll see you at breakfast time. All right, matcha is same old, you guys, but it is my favorite matcha powder, and then I'm also going to be using some monk fruit extract to sweeten, as well as some pumpkin pie spice, duh. Then we're also gonna use some lion's mane and some jasmine tocos for my adaptogen powders. Basically what I'm trying to do right now is just get through the adaptogen powders that I have before we leave on our trip. And then I am also going to add in my coconut butter, of course, which is this raw coconut butter, and it's so drippy and creamy because it's hot AF outside and everything is melted in my kitchen. So a nice spoonful of that, and then top everything with hot water, blend it up, and call it a day. So then for breakfast, which ended up being a little bit later, I decided to make some pancakes. I already had some in my freezer, and these are the vegan blueberry pancakes from my blog. I will link them down below for you. And I decided to make 3. So basically I just take them out of the Ziploc bag, and then I pop them in the toaster oven, and then just toast them until they're done. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes. While that's happening, I decided to make some blueberry chia jam. I added some frozen blueberries into a pan. I let that kind of heat up and the blueberries start to release some of their juices, and then I added in some chia seeds, and I actually added more than I meant to, so I had to add a splash of water, but this is like honestly the easiest thing to make ever. And then I just let it sit for about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 minutes until it thickened up a little bit, and it's the perfect sugar-free topping to pancakes. It's also great on toast. So that's exactly what I did. I took my pancakes out of the toaster oven, topped it with 2 giant spoonfuls of blueberry, and then I drizzled on some almond butter, sprinkled on some coconut flakes and some raw cacao nibs and some chia seeds, and that was it. It was so, so good, and I'll admit I didn't even miss the syrup, but it was just a fabulous breakfast, and if you haven't made these pancakes, you absolutely need to. All right, so I ended up having breakfast kind of on the later side. I had my matcha at like 9, and then I just wasn't really hungry. I was like talking to Matt and doing stuff around here and working, and I like looked at the clock and I was like, okay, wait, it's time to eat breakfast. And it was like 11. So I had those pancakes at around 11, which means lunch, it's now like 2:33, and I'm just not gonna really do anything big, I don't think, for lunch. I have some leftover massaged kale salad, which I'll make, and then I might just throw on some extra veggies on there, and a dollop of hummus, maybe some avocado, and probably call it a day. I'm gonna insert clips on how I made the massaged kale salad. It's so good and so easy. And then I'll show you what else goes inside that bowl. So like I said, lunch is gonna be super easy, but basically to make the kale salad, I just took one bunch of kale. I removed the stems from the kale, and then I just finely chopped it, and I chopped it basically as finely as I could, and then I popped everything into a bowl, and I massaged it with a little bit of dressing. And the massaging does take a while, so, you know, be patient, use your hand strength. My hands always get tired when I do this, but I massage it for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and it gets nice and soft, and the leftovers are delicious. So for the lunch that I had, again, this is the day before, lunch that I had was the leftover kale salad, and then I just decided to shred some cabbage on top using my mandolin slicer. And then I did a dollop of hummus, a dollop, actually 2 dollops of some vegan queso dip that I had in my fridge. Finished it with some sliced avocado. And I know it doesn't seem like much, but like I said, it was a late lunch, and it was just what I needed to feel satisfied until dinner. So I just walked in from my afternoon walk, and I'm gonna start on dinner. It's a little bit early, but I'm gonna make it ahead because I wanna finish a little bit of work, and I also wanna get a photo of it. So we'll either just eat it cold or heat it up. And the one that we're gonna make, or I'm gonna make, is the Filipino tofu adobo. It sounds so good, and it has rice, veggies, like a little tomato salad, crispy tofu, and it's gonna be good. So let me flip you around and show you the recipe, and then we'll get to cooking. All right, so here is what came this week in my purple carrot box. I got avocado quinoa burgers. You know I'm gonna love those. Also got Filipino tofu adobo, which sounds awesome, and they have the Nasoya tofu in there. Also some eggless salad bowls, which are gluten-free, and I'm sure that it's gonna be like a tofu quote-unquote egg salad, which I'm also going to love. So I'm really excited about all 3 of these. I might do this one as a lunch option, and then one of these 2 as a dinner, but let's see. And then, oh, the other thing that I wanted to show you that they sent with this box is also from Nasoya. This is their vegan Thai basil dumplings. They are organic. They have the Nasoya tofu obviously inside. 6 grams of plant-based protein. These are not gluten-free, so I am not personally going to be able to eat these, but I luckily have a guy here that will. So he will be definitely eating these. I'm sure he is going to love these, especially with like a little dipping sauce that we'll make on the side. It sounds so awesome. I just want to show you what the different recipes look like this week. So this is the Filipino tofu adobo. Looks so good. Here are the avocado quinoa burgers, which are right up my alley. Love that there's a kale salad underneath. And then this is the eggless salad bowl, which looks like egg salad with asparagus on the side. Looks like a fabulous little lunch. And as always, Purple Carrot has all of the individual pictures and instructions to make all of the recipes. And of course, everything is pre-portioned. So it's so simple to make. And don't forget that you guys can get that special discount by clicking the link that is right below this video. So the first thing we're gonna do is the rice. You basically just cook exactly the portion that they have. It's 2/3 cup of rice to 1 1/3 cup of water. Add a sprinkle of salt, bring it to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, and let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes until the rice is cooked. While it's cooking, thinly slice up your onion, and then you are just going to also chop up the tomato into chunks. So the tofu comes in these individual packets. It's, again, they're organic, extra firm. Again, everything is non-GMO. And you have the twin packs of tofu that we're just going to cut up into cubes. But we first got to drain it and then we'll cut it up. For the tofu, you're just going to cube it. So I cut it into 3 things and then I flip it over, cut it in half, and then cut it into cubes. And we're gonna set those aside. And then again, the green beans, just trim the ends off the green beans and then chop them into like 1-inch pieces. All right, so we've got our green beans, scallions, garlic, thinly sliced onion, and the tomato. And now we're gonna make the salad part of it, and then we'll move on to the tofu. So to make the salad, just add 1/4 cup of the sliced onion as well as the tomato into this bowl. And then we're gonna add some of the white wine vinegar as well as some of the tamari and some fresh cracked pepper into this bowl as well, and then toss it all together. I decided to use my hands so I could break up the onion a little bit so you didn't get huge chunks of onion in it, but you could just stir it together if you wanted. Once you're done with that, you can just set it aside and we will move on to the tofu. So we're gonna add some oil into a skillet, and then you will drop in your cubed up tofu. And we're basically just gonna cook this until it's crispy. Now, I will tell you, I would recommend doing this in a non-stick pan. This cast iron skillet always sticks, and I didn't have a non-stick pan that was big enough, so next time do it that way because this was a kind of a sticky mess. But once you have that, you can just transfer the tofu onto a plate, add in some more oil, add in the rest of your red onion as well as that chopped up garlic that we made or chopped up earlier. And then we will just quickly saute it 1 to 2 minutes until the onions have softened a little bit. Then we'll add in the remainder of the vinegar as well as the tamari, the bay leaf, and finally 1/4 cup of water. Bring this to a boil and add in your crispy-ish tofu as well as your green beans. And we basically are just going to let this simmer until the green beans are cooked. I let mine simmer for, I think it was like 5 minutes or so until the green beans, I like them still to have a little crunch, so you can just cook it for however long you want. And to finish it off, let's serve it up. So you do a nice generous helping of the rice as well as some of the tomato and onion salad. And the longer that the salad sits there, the softer and less pungent the onions are gonna be. So this ended up being perfect. And then some of the tofu and green bean mixture. And I finished everything off with the sliced up scallions and some black sesame seeds, so it was nice and pretty. All right, so here's the finished product. I would say that this meal definitely serves at least 3. If we divided this evenly between 2 bowls, it would have been a lot of food for both of us. So I'm excited to have leftovers for tomorrow. So now I'm going to go take a quick photograph, and then we will, well, I'll taste it because I'm gonna eat it in a little bit, but I'll taste it for you and tell you what I think, but it's smelling awesome in here. All right, let's do a little taste test. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of everything. I want a piece of tofu, some rice. I want a tomato. Oh shoot. Got a green bean. This is gonna be a massive bite. All right, here we go. Really good. I love the balance of the raw tomato and onion salad with the warm veggies and the rice. I mean, you can't go wrong with white rice. So good. Anytime there's like crispy or sauteed tofu involved, I am in. So good. All right, my friends, that does it for today's What I Eat in a Day video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to Purple Carrot and Nasoya for joining us in today's video. Don't forget that you can get a special deal on your first Purple Carrot box by clicking the link that is right below this video. If you're new to the world of meal delivery programs and companies, they are by far my favorite. Not only are their meals 100% plant-based, they also are healthy and they're easy to make and they're delicious. So I can't recommend it enough. You guys have to check it out. And don't forget to use the link right below. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Check the description box down below for any recipes that I mentioned. I'll also include the What I Eat in a Day playlist there if you want to binge more of these videos. And yeah, you guys are the best. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!